YouTube, welcome to the top 8 of the Meta Weekly, and we are starting this off with a one-turn kill go second deck, which is Infernoid. It was an immensely epic duel within the top 16. If you missed it, it was at the very end of the video, so make sure you check that out. Chris with a 60-card deck, holy moly, continually choosing to go second just like a Tenpai player. And we saw on the website the analytics. So the analytics that are quite interesting about Infernoid is the top cards page, the official highest rank of Master Duel, win rate on summoned. Infernoid Flood is 82% win rate. What the? And that's of course only when it's summoned, and then within the rest of the duel, you have that high chance of winning the whole thing. So thank you very much for watching as long as you can by keeping me on in the background, whether you're doing laundry or working out. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
We're gonna speed this up. We are a turn 2 player, so we have no disruption whatsoever. Likely not in our deck at all. I think so, right? We saw within the other duels, most of the deck being milled. Card destruction, Ash Blossom negating card destruction, or the Desiree negating card destruction, that's going to be the big play. Now, if we could trick them into ashing something else, that would be ideal. Now, beyond the Ash stopping the card destruction or the Desiree negating any card in the field, including the card destruction, you also have the Apollo negating 2 monster effects. We also have the Masquerena banishing twice, and then we have the Promethean Princess in Graveyard, which is going to be able to pop a monster on special summon, giving us a total of 7 disruption plus a max C. I don't think we have the play, even though we choose to go second. We want to go second. Let's go. Widow Anchor attempting to negate the Apollo as the Desiree is untargetable. We're now down to 5 forms of disruption. As we then follow up normal summon our Infernoid into Masquerena being summoned through the Flameburst from the back row, using the negated Apollo to go into that Little Knight double banish play, which will on-summon, banish once, say goodbye to our Infernoid, and now we get negated by Ash into a scoop. That is immensely unfortunate. Tried our best to throw out as much bait as possible. What we really wanted to do was force out the Desiree negate, and then hopefully the card destruction would go through. Under Max C though, who cares? Wait, there's no field to break. What the? Triple mill and triple break. Let's start milling. The opponent is declared level 4 so that if we reveal a Fairy Tale Snow, it does not get summoned. But if we reveal a Decatron, it does get summoned. And we're more likely to reveal a Decatron than a Fairy Tale Snow. So I would think that calling level 1 is the better play. Let's keep on milling away. Ain't no way. We're down to 42 cards. It's only Deca in Fairy Tale Snow that we could reveal. So that's maybe 4 cards, or if we're only playing 1 Deca, is it half and half? I don't know the ratios. I'd have to double check. Boy, are we getting low. And if the reasoning ate Ash, we would then use the other reasoning. That's insane. I think I incorrectly said grass is a hard once per turn. It's not hard once per turn. It's activatable more than once, but it's only actually used once because you mill your deck until it equals the opponent's deck size, and then you can't use another one. There we go. Called correctly. Good job. Was it a 50-50? Now let's start reborning our Infernoids onto the field here. Devity is a monster negate as the Fairy Tale Snow reborns alongside it. Mate, do we negate the Max C with the Devity? As we are going second, we do. That is a negate. I don't think so. Negate. Now the reason why we have to continually link off our field is because the Devity states that you have to have your field be level 8 or lower in order to summon it. So with the Fairy Tale Snow alongside a level 8, that's level 12, thus we couldn't summon the Devity. Now, we summon the Devity by banishing 3 Infernoids, reborn the Fairy Tale Snow, and that's going to be a total of not enough for lethal damage, but with the Druid Swarm attempting to banish a Fairy Tale Snow, we could have just activated the Fairy Tale Snow again, but instead we're going to use the Devity to negate, mate, and just like that, lethal damage. Begin. What the? That's rarely used in this deck. I don't think so. People are playing that. Let me check that real quick. Photon Lord, oh my lord, in Snake Eye Fiendsmith, 16% are using it. So you are a spicy boy and I love it. That's going to be able to negate a monster effect. We do have the Apollo, which will be able to triple monster negates. We have the Masquerena, which could go into a double Little Knight Banish. We have the Ashen Hand negating interaction with the deck, ideally negating something like a Grass-looking Greener. We have Nibiru to tribute off the field. We have Drew Swarm to banish a Fairy Tale Snow, which will likely be dodged, so I'm not going to count that as a form of disruption. We have Promethean Princess Engrave, which will be activatable to pop a monster on special summon. We only have 9 disruption. Okay, Chris, oh, come on, boy. I believe in you. This is the way. This is the play. Let's get to it. Let's do it. We are flaming on for Infernoid. Begin. Starting off with the slash draw, discarding the Sajet. We're going to Ash Blossom, negate. Void Imagination should be a massive play, actually. Holy moly, yes it is. Void Imagination activating, and just like that, we are going to be sending from the deck 6 bodies to summon a massive Infernoid Tierra. Tierra on summon is activating to just get negated, unfortunately, but we're gonna use Widow Anchor to negate the negate, and we can't stop it, mate. Negate the Apollo, resolve the Tierra. Tierra's gonna send from the extra deck, send from the deck. Now let's get triggering. As the Garura is gonna draw a card, Entis is gonna pop the Divine Temple, and we're gonna use Malong to return the Photon Lord back to the extra deck. We're gonna trigger the Engraved Desiree to send on the field to grave the Tierra. Chainlink blocking our own Photon Lord, which why would we even want to negate its own ability of being returned back? Now the Masquerena has no way to summon itself onto the field, and what we are left with is just a Nibiru and a Promethean Princess, as we now use the Promethean Princess, and now we can't summon Nibiru because Promethean Princess is on the field. We got nada, no disruption, it's all gone. We're gonna spin away the Lacrima, pop away the back row, further go into a Hida. With our Hida, we're going to steal a fire monster from the opponent's graveyard as we reborn our Intondale and summon our Devity to negate any monster effect. Give me your Sunlight Wolf as I turn it into an Access Code Talker at 4,000 damage. Right now, we're at 8,000, but boost up to 10,000 damage. Take out Promethean, use the Intandal to attack again, double attack. That is just like that. As the Druid Swarm attempts to summon, we're going to tribute off the Intandal, and just like that, an open field for lethal damage. Ain't no way with 9 forms of disruption. Infernoid Chris is taking it all. Lethal damage. I need his D. That's it. I need the D. It's mine. I'm playing this deck. Holy moly, how did this happen? The Intandal's got a double attack. Damn. Destroy monster by battle, attack again. Let's go. Yep, set pass. Cross out to, so you think like, why set the imperm, just keep it in hand. Cross out doesn't really negate much unless you're playing a mirror match, but the cross out does negate the protection for your Veiler. You will protect it by negating a Call by the Grave. There you go. So it does do something. Setting your back row is really scary against a deck like Tenpai, though. You would definitely do your best to just keep it in hand, because otherwise it's going to get wiped away. Triple negate, Fright for Patchwork Mate. Let's grab a Polymerization. What's really scary about Poly is the Guardian Chimera cannot be targeted by none of our 3 disruptions if there's a Poly Engrave. Now, we can't Guardian Chimera off of this. We're instead going into our Baphomet. Baphomet on summon is going to send from the deck to the grave as the Gazelle searches for an illusion, as the Edgem Chain searches for a Fright for Patchwork card, as the Veiler now attempts to negate, Call by the Grave, negate the negates, cross out Designate to negate the negate negating the negate. Negate your finger. The other Veiler's now still good, plus the Imperm. Now, this, of course, could still attack us for 2,400 damage. We could just try to put up lethal damage, possibly, and that'll be enough. Apprentice Nightmare is another 2,000 damage on the field. It's getting scary. Should we have set our Soprano on field? We're going to Veiler negate Apprentice from searching for an illusion monster. We still have not used up our normal summon somehow. To battle we go. That was it. Enough disruption. Didn't even have to use the impermanence. As we main phase 2, Beatrice. What the? Beatrice detached, sent from the deck, nothing. Now Beatrice is a quick effect which will be usable during the very next turn. If we play Black Goat Laughs, that would be a good form of disruption through the Beatrice. Otherwise, she's gone. Let's get rid of our Droll and Lockbird and Beatrice for a Magnum Reliever. If either player activates a card or effect, we could then banish a Polymerization to target a card in the field and destroy it. We also got to draw a card there by returning a Polymerization to the deck. We also have Droplets. We have 2 forms of disruption. Oh, that's so good. This is the best card to top deck. This is essentially a branded fusion. Holy moly. Send from the deck to summon a Shaberta. Get Shabertin. Okay, banish 3 cards from their grave. Magnum Reliever is going to banish Polymerization to pop the Shaberta. Aren't we supposed to, like, Botcha? I mean, we know he's got Droplet anyway, right? Yeah, where the Botcha at? That's not a Botcha. What the Botcha? Did we know he had Droplet? All right. Let's on-summon Refrain, searching for our Sonata as we couplet search for our Concerto. We do have to deal with a Max C, and we do have no way to stop that Max C. So we end after this summon, right? And we don't activate Botcha to summon from the deck, or we summon the Arius still, making us untargetable and indestructible by battle. Maybe it's still worth it. Couplet and Refrain triggering to put themselves into the back row. It's 1 more draw, and we set up essentially towers, right? It can't get messed up. Untargetable and indestructible in battle, plus the Imperman, Veiler, and Max C. So we have double disruption. How do we break this field? We don't. we could just droplet the Arius. That would be enough if we wanted to. Now, if the Black Goat Laughs on field, we could declare a monster name. That monster cannot be summoned. Can't summon Bloom. So Dailingo knowing that you want to get Bloom in? I don't think so. Edge and Chain triggering to grab the Fright for Patchwork for the very next turn. Get ready with that. We still have just 3 disruption. We are going to use the Fright for Patchwork, grabbing the Polymerization. If we could summon a Guardian Chimera, it will be completely untargetable from all forms of our disruption. And if we have another body on field that's worth negating, we could use Droplet to dodge the negate. Like right now, we could use Droplet to dodge that if we want to, or keep it on the field for the Guardian Chimera. I think we want to keep it on field for the Guardian Chimera. Get ready for a pop, which the Arius does not protect from. Right? Oh, that's not a Guardian Chimera. We're going to Baphomet first. Baphomet and Gazelle are both going to be triggering to send from the deck to the grave nothing as the Veiler negates. We're going to be using the Codal to negate the targeting negate. We're going to Imperm to negate the monster wants to negate that the negate was negating or negate. Negate the Baphomet. We could have added a Droplet if we wanted to dodge it completely. As we search our deck for a Nightmare Apprentice. And we got nothing. That's it. We are untargetable and can't be destroyed by battle. We can be destroyed by card effect destruction, though. And Droplet can negate our protection from battle. Regina, in response to an Azamina or Sinful Spoil activating, can destroy 2 cards in the field. But that's a targeting destruction, right? Yeah, we can't target them. So we could destroy the Pendulum Scales, or if we chain, we do Droplet before we want to use Regina. We're gonna go into, where's your Guardian Chimera, mate? You keep baiting me. We go into the Chimera Phantom Beast to discard a card from the opponent's hand during the end phase. We have the Baphomet reborning the Sword Knight from Engrave. And now we're gonna Guardian Chimera. Finally. No, we're not. We're just gonna lethal. Okay. We have 4 attacks. Attack number 1. You're not destroyed, and we're gonna non-target, reduce you to 0. Attack number 2. Attack number 3. Attack number 4. What'd I say? Stop putting your bodies in attack position against Chimera. It keeps on happening. They gotta be in D. They can't change you in attack position. They can't inflict piercing battle damage. You're giving them easy lethal. What the? It is an Exodia deck in the top freaking 8. Heart of the Blue Eyes. Millennium Ankh, we could chain the Retaliating Sea, which doesn't really do anything to Exodia. It's going to ensure that any card sent to the grave is banished instead. Double Fool Loss to draw 1. I guess I'll ask the second one. Why not? I don't want you to draw 2 cards. 1 card's fine, though. Negate. If you do a Double Fool Loss and the same chain, and then it gets fingered, you lose both. So you got to be careful about that. But when you're playing against Millennia, Exodia, you may as well just YOLO. You're in desperation mode. Not in a good situation. We have Double Fires of Rage, which is just going to be activatable once. Say goodbye to the Heart of Blue Eyes. Let's now dissect what we're looking at here. We have the ability to very simply destroy the entire field. And you can only do it once here. We have the ability to negate any spell or trap card activation. We also have the ability to become 8,000 attack in the damage step. We also cannot be destroyed by card effects. We also have Droll and Lockbird. If you add a card from your deck, you cannot add any more. So that's just triple disruption. Can we break this field? Well, Swarm can in fact break it by sending the unstoppable Exodia, by stopping it and sending it to the grave. Right now, just like that. Dark. Dark is here, Retaliating Sea, triggering a search for a max C. Swarm send. It's our last moment to activate the Fires of Rage, where otherwise it's not activatable if we don't have Exodia on field. Wipe away the Dark, as we're now going to add. We could then chain Droll to the Dark activating if we want. Yep, there we go. Can't add. And that's it. We got nothing. Zero disruption left. We have a Lurie for next turn, which is not full Fiendsmith combo. There are so many ways to search for the Millennium Ankh. It's disgusting. There's no way we're not drawing into it, right? Or a way to draw into it. Oh, we did not draw into it or a way to search it. That is a problem. Requiem is going to be jumping off, going into getting hit by that searched for Maxi. We knew that was there, but what could we really do about it? We could just Droll it if we want to. I think we're done summoning from here, though. We can't normal summon the Droll to get the Engraver engraved. We equip the Requiem. Let's get battling. Search for another Max C. Thank you very much. Thinning out my deck here. As the main phase 2, Requiem is sent to get rid of that Baldrake. What does this do? Search a leg? What the? We thinned out our deck. That does help a bit, sure, by a 0.01%. Off the top of the deck, we got our Tract. Now, ideally, it would be Engraver searching Tract, then you Droll, then they can't use the Tract. Not the other way, where now the Droll is pretty much doing nothing. But we may as well Droll anyway. We don't know the rest of their hand. But us knowing it did nothing. We're going to go into the Requiem, summon from the deck. If you don't know, the Fires of Rage is completely dead. We can't use it. We're going to send Engraver with the Requiem being sent. Banish with our Serenir. 4,300 damage here. Lethal damage. How do you deal with Exodia, right? So a lot of people are struggling against this deck. Swarm. Swarm is an amazing out, and we keep on seeing it today. Hipster chose to go second. You're a go second Exodia deck? This is a mistake. This is a duel restart, is it not? How? Right? Hipster lost, and you go second with Exodia? It's not a mistake? Why do you explain? Why do you want to go second? Are you the Exodia player that was playing anti-spell fragrance, or am I mixing you up with another player? We did see that today. Magnahot banishing Steam the Cloak, which is a full 1-card combo of the entire Fiendsmith play, now gone. We're gonna return back the Steam. You're OTKing with Exodia? Well, I respect that. That's amazing. Do you even play Floodgates? Did end their turn. Let's get to it. You go second with Exodia, it is 8,000 damage, where otherwise if you go first, it becomes 7,000 because it reduces its attack every turn. If you don't have a Millennium Ankh open up in your hand, unfortunately the Exodia is now 6,000 attack instead, because we do have to pay life points, further reducing the size of our Exodia. Droll and Lockbird, because I don't have to add any more as we go into a Heart of the Blue Eyes. So that's going to be 9,000 damage, 6,000 plus the 3K, as we summon our unstoppable Exodia. Reveal my legs, reveal my arms, and show you my head. It's time to obliterate. Daradur, can you stop this? To battle we go, wiping out the retaliating C, now searching for a max C if it weren't for the droll. But boost to 6,000 damage. Not enough for lethal. We're gonna set Imperm, and you can't Ash this effect. Holy moly, we got the Fires of Rage to wipe out the entire opposing field, plus Imperm negate a monster, plus the Unstoppable Exodia negating a spell or trap card. We can negate that regained, negate, and destroy the regained. It doesn't destroy, actually, I made that up. Maybe at your locals you could tell them that. We're going to then summon a Fool Loss, wipe the entire field. We do have Imperm. Imperm's left, Druid Swarm. Keep stopping the Unstoppable. Back-to-back, Druid Swarm's the way. Unfortunately for Daradur, the Heart of the Blue Eyes will search for another Millennium Ankh, then summoning another Exodia. But can we play through the Imperm? We're going to Luri into Requiem. Requiem come forth and summon from the deck into our Engraver. Equip onto the Engraver. Engraver, send the Heart of the Blue Eyes. Engraver is going to reborn itself onto the field. Caesar can negate Millennium Ankh. Are we doing Caesar? Are we Caesar? Do we have Caesar in the extra deck? We do. Imperm negate, though. Shoot. That was our play. We would have had it. Damn. What now? Poke for 1,200? Oh my Jesus. It's over. Draw a leg off the top of the deck. It does not even matter. Heart of the Blue Eyes is going to search the deck as we're going to get negated by the Ash. We're in a standstill. Hipster is in big trouble. Summon a head on the field into a Typhon. What the? Typhon spin away for lethal damage. No, the win rate of Typhon's going up. Wow, Typhon won a duel with Exodia's head. Begin. Senjin equipping itself into the back row to special summon from the back row. You do want to be ashing this effect as we search for a golem. We got the Wedju Temple to equip into our back row monster, grabbing the Shield of Millennium, burning for another 2k, now down to 4k, searching for that Millennium Ankh as the Exodia will now only be 4,000 attack. Actually will be 3,000 because we're going to burn for 1,000 through its own effect. If it survives for a turn, that is. We have the Azure Rune in the back row to negate a special summon, but not an effect to special summon like a Bestial. And just like that, the stoppable Exodia is here. Into Valor, negating its ability to set the Fires of Rage so it cannot wipe out the entire field, but we still have the ability to negate a spell or trap during the opponent's turn. And just like that, it never fails him to have that Druid Swarm in that opening hand. We're going to maxi within the draw phase to draw per special summon. And just like that, we're going to summon the Azure Rune to ensure that, oh, dang, it's still going to get rid of the Druid Swarm and trigger to then send the stoppable Exodia. Again, off the field, cannot negate a spell or trap. We're going to Serenir, banish the Druid Swarm. We wanted to stop a Link summon, as they now summon a Dark. With the Dark giving us another draw, should we be afraid? Giving them this many draws, we're just going to end. That's it. Back to you. Off the top of the deck, we have our Fires of Rage in case we get negated again. And of course, there's another Druid Storm waiting for the other summon of another Exodia. Heart of the Blue Eyes searching for the Millennium Ankh. Now, I believe they generally play just 2 Exodia, right? Yeah, this will be the second and final Exodia summon. You stop the second one, you win. Can you do it? We do have Nibiru building up summons here as we go into our 4th summon. The Exodia cannot stop Nibiru. Requiem equip onto the Engraver. Wedju Temple equip into the back row. The Droll and Lockbird to summon. The Doom Dragon to push the Dark into the back row. 75-50 damage. Reveal the Ankh, come forth and summon. And now this is where we can make the biggest mistake of our life, which would possibly be to activate the Millennium Ankh into a big fat Nibiru. But is it even a mistake when you know that they play Bestials, thus going into the battle phase with just 9,000 damage is not enough? Uh-oh. Don't do it. Don't. What? I mean, he could Apollo if he played it. I don't play Apollo, mate. Apollo returns the extra deck if I activate Millennium Ankh. Why would I play Apollo to stop Nibiru, mate? No. Let's go. I don't know. I don't know about this, mate. I don't know. Heart of the Blue Eyes, send Nibiru to the grave. Luri returned back to summon our Engraver as the Druid Storm is going to chain banish. This is something. This is something. Millennium Shield, reveal the Ankh, summon itself onto the field. Grab another Millennium Ankh To battle phase we go, get rid of the Druid Swarm, and now we could safely summon the now unstoppable Exodia, as we have dealt with not one but two Druid Swarms are gone. We are ready to obliterate the entire field through a Fires of Rage, destroying everything, plus negating any spell or trap card, plus negating any monster on the field. Retaliating Sea, that is trash. Wipe it! As you can now search for a Max C if you'd like to, or it would have been quicker to maybe not search and just surrender. But can we even get 8,000 damage on the field? Maybe we can't. Burning for 1,000. One more turn and we're done, right? Searching for an Exodia head. We're going to Wedge Temple, put the head into the back row, plus the Senjin. We're going to activate Max C, reveal the Ankh to summon the Senjin, then search for a monster from the deck. 50 damage. This is not enough. We're going to again equip and get hit by the Ghost Ogre, popping the Golem, thus stopping the summon for lethal damage. What do we do? Right? Don't we die if we end our turn because this will forcibly kill us? You lose 1,000 and we only have 1,000 and it's during our next standby. We have to end the duel now. A boost. Not enough. Not enough. This is not enough. We get rid of the Exodia. We're done with that. The Fires of Rage is now not usable. Little Knight on summon, all under Maxi, banishing away the Lubellian Engrave, and now we're going to get hit with the Necro Valley play. You cannot move cards from either player's graveyard. I will chain banish your monster with a Little Knight. I will imperm negate your monster, and of course you have no play. And if you did have a play, you probably were going to draw into a Bista, which would have been stopped by the Necro Valley anyway. To battle phase we go at 1,400 defense. The Heart of the Blue Eyes is big enough for the direct attack lethal play of Little Knight for game. Damn. Linking off your Exodia before he kills yourself. That is crazy. Senjin into the back row. Minus 2k Keck W. Grab a Golem from the deck here. Into the Droll and Lockbird. Golem is going to equip itself, and now we don't get to make a zombie vampire. Great. We're going to link off into a double negate Apollo USA, sequence equipping onto the Desiree, making it completely untargetable. And this is a problem. Generally, the Super Poly needs two monsters with the same attribute to fuse them away. We have a light and a light. Now, the Beatrice is not going to be able to activate. Could the Beatrice activate before the Super Poly? No. You, as the turn player, have the turn player priority within the draw phase to Super Poly before they could even activate Beatrice. So, use it away. We do have a double negate with Apollo. The Desiree would be able to activate. Oh, this is funny, actually. Could Desiree send your own Apollo by accident? Let's read this. Target a card in the field, send it to the grave. This is where in locals, TCG, they would of course be able to take the play back, right? They try to target your card illegally. You can't then make them target their own Apollo. But in Master Duel, if you activate Desiree, you have to send your Apollo to the grave because the Mood Dragon's untargetable. We're going to negate. Mood Dragon cannot change its attribute. We had to pass on Desiree to even be able to, well, we just didn't even use Desiree. Goodbye to the Apollo USA. Kodal is going to be searching for nothing as the Ash Blossom negates. Now you have to remember, if you have Fiendsmith in your graveyard with nothing in your field or hand, you could still make great plays on the very next turn. As long as you draw into a body to potentially just normal summon alongside your engraver. Flip in the Kodal as the engraver cards are just continually recycling themselves back in the action deck. Back in the action deck you go. Mood Dragon's going to declare light to be untargetable here. We have Rhino Heart ready for our normal summon fusion play. Let's link it up into the sequence. Let's sequence fuse with the graveyard into Lacrima. As the Lacrima targets Desiree to reborn itself back onto the field. Rhino Heart on summon, sent from the deck the Hobness to fuse it up. Using for a triple fusion play into the Kaleido Heart. Kaleido Heart on summon, spin away a card on field. Back in the deck you go. Say goodbye to the Chimera Fusion. Let's link off the sequence into the Requiem, as the sequence can equip onto the Desiree to then get negating. Lacrima, after dealing a bunch of damage, if they're at least 1200 life or less, would then burn for lethal damage. Nicely done, Justinian. Let's hop into game number 2. Now, what's worth noting, something that came up in the previous duel that was not immensely relevant, but still pretty funny to know. If the opponent has a Mood Dragon on the field, and so let's say you are the one who plays Mood Dragon because you super poly to Mad Lad, and then it goes another turn where they then try to make their Fiendsmith plays, you could declare with Mood Dragon Light, and by declaring Light, now Requiem cannot equip onto Engraver to try to send a monster to the field to the grave, which it could not target the Mood Dragon anyway, but also the sequence cannot target the Desiree on field to equip, thus the Desiree will never be able to negate anything until we get rid of the Mood Dragon. Are you ready to get Fua Lawson? And we have no way to stop the Fua loss, but we're going second anyway, so it does not matter. The Fua loss would be no good, but we could use Pirellia. Pirellia against Chimera, they do, it'll be a normal summon, plus the Nightmare Apprentice. At least draw 2. Let's go. Pirellia right away with no way to stop it. We're going to Codal, search our deck for the Gazelle, which we're definitely going to be normal summoning. Give us that draw 1 into the Baphomet being searched for. Let's get Chimera Fusion. Fuse it up into a Baphomet. Baphomet on summon will send a body from the deck to the grave as the Gazelle searches our deck for an illusion, which I don't think we're searching for the Nightmare Apprentice since we can't summon it. I mean, we can, it's just going to give them a draw. We still do it, right? I guess so. We're going to add the Chimera Fusion, still summon Nightmare Apprentice under the Pirellia to give them that free draw. And Nightmare Apprentice will now be searching for a Master Tau into a Drone Lockbird, further disallowing you from adding cards from your deck to your hand. As we pass our turn with how many forms of disruption here? We do have the Chimera Fusion, which can Guardian Chimera pop multiple cards in the field. With that 1 disruption, we also have the Sword Knight, which could negate something like the Rhino Heart. If we open this up with a Rhino Heart summon, it will simply get negated. Double disruption. I'm not going to count the Codal as a disruption. Fua loss to ensure we draw at least 1 off of that Guardian Chimera. Tracked, add Lurie. The Requiem will... So what is happening here, a very smart play, I'm sure Justinian's going to do it definitely. We're going to put Sulliak on Chainlink 2, Rhino Heart on Chainlink 1, and then Sword Knight cannot negate the Rhino Heart. Very smart. Please do that. There you go. Of course he's doing it. Get blocking, no Sword Knight negate. As we're going to search our deck for a Tirlami Kashtira and send from the deck our Havnis. The problem is the Kick Cow now gets negated, but the card's not negated, just the effect. If we wanted to, which we didn't negate. Okay, Sharon is going to send the Tier Cash, mill 3. We're going to Tier Cash, mill an additional 2. Further going into a Dugaris. We negate this, right? It's going to draw to like Pot of Greed kind of and discard. Yeah. Negate. The Pot of Greed plus discard Lurie to Reborn. Not today. What I think is really interesting that Justinian continually keeps on doing is that he's, at least it looks like he's doing it continually. I saw previously he would discard the Lurie with the Dugaris to then Reborn it, and then get Lurie back in the deck, and then search it with Track to then discard it again, getting double special summon off of Lurie. We're going to Kick Cow, Reborn the Tier Cash, send the Kick Cow to mill 5 plus 3. Come to me for a massive mill 8. Mill it up 8 as the Tract is going to fuse with our hand or field. Double Engraver going into the Lacrima. Lacrima on summon is going to be targeting the Engraver to Reborn itself back onto the field. And now we're going to Guardian Chimera. With this Guardian Chimera, we're going to pop 2 and draw 1. That draw 1's going to be a hand trap, right? Surely. Get poppin'. Master Tau Chainlink blocking the Chimera from an Ash Blossom, which would negate the pop and draw. Reborning the Nightmare Apprentice. Maxi was a great top deck with that Guardian Chimera. What more could we have wanted? And now, we Maxi. Got him. No Ash Blossom in sight to stop that. We are going to Fairy Tale Snow, Chain Banish. We're not banishing the Engraver, which would have stopped them from drawing. We don't care about them getting that draw. Get that draw. We're still going to summon the Engraver. Not another hand trap, unfortunately. Snow is going to flip the targetable Chimera since there's no regular polymerization engrave. As we further go into a sequence where they could draw into a Veiler, which they did not. Very much needed to stop that sequence to go into a Kaleido Heart, which again, we could maybe draw into a Veiler to stop the Kaleido Heart from spinning. No. Uh-oh. Flip away, spin it back, bounce that Chimera into the extra deck as we go into a Requiem. All of these useless hand traps. What is this nonsense? Engraver is here equipped with the Requiem. Send the Apprentice to the graveyard. And with over 10,000 damage on the field, we have the Baphomet engraved to block an attack. Sword Knight is here, and it cannot be destroyed by battle. This card, battling a monster, says that neither monster can be destroyed because it's an illusion. It's not even there. What the? Wow. Sword Knight off of Baphomet was a scoop. Starting off with a special summon Fenrir, searching our deck for a tier Cashier. Senjin equipping itself in the back row as we're going to finally see the one-card zombie vampire play. Senjin into Golem, Golem into Wedju Temple, into... I thought that's what we do. Apparently we do not. You would equip with the Wedju Temple and then send them to summon the Doom Dragon to make the zombie vampire. I guess I don't know what I'm thinking, what he planned on doing with that instead. So we do have the Chimera send Hobness to get Fusion right into the Kick Cow. What's really good about Chimera, better than Rhino Heart, is you could, if you want to, you could send a Rhino or search a Rhino, and then you could summon the Rhino with the Kick Cow to guarantee a Rukalos afterward, where instead of randomly milling with the tier cash. We're gonna grab a Sullik because we are under the effect of Fool Loss. We don't want to keep on continually summoning from the extra deck here. Set and pass. This is not bad. Under the effect of Maxi, drawing per special summon, we also have Sullik, which will permanently negate a monster, plus trigger a Mill 5, which will likely maybe turn into a fusion summon into another form of disruption. And if it does, we also have Masquerena for a double banish play with Little Knight, and we have Fenrir on the resolution of a monster effect, banishing a face-up card, banishing it face down. 5 disrupt, 4 to 5. We may get unlucky with the Kick Cow. Searching for polymerization, Edge Imp Chain. We're going to summon Gazelle. We're going to negate the Gazelle as we're now down to 4 disruption. And this is where we see if the 4 disruption are real. We have to trigger a fusion. And we're going to use the Cashier Fenrir to banish the Gazelle so they cannot easily summon a Guardian Chimera. We're now down to 2 disruption. We whiffed our mill. That was not good. Then we just drew in a Nibiru. Now we're back up to 3 disruption. All right. Masquerena into Little Knight on summon. Banish away. You will not Guardian Chimera me. Banish it. We have Little Knight banish plus Nibiru. Continually stopping that body on the field, no matter what. We're going to be randomly milling 3, maybe into a fusion. No, wow. Can you get luckier, Justinian? What is this? Into Baphomet we go with that polymerization. Baphomet on summon, send from the deck as the Edge Imp Chain Link block, searching our deck for the Fright for Patchwork. Could send anybody we want from the deck to the grave. Master Tau, activate, reborn the Diabels. Diabel states if a card is set, we can pop a card in the field. We're going to use that polymerization, and despite continually trying to stop them from getting a body in the field to stop the summon of the Guardian Chimera, they still don't summon Guardian Chimera. We summon. This would be lethal damage at 4,000 life. We attack once, we attack twice, we attack 3 times. That would be game, but the Nibiru is going to tribute away the field. Not today. Damn, Nibiru just saved the whole game. That was game. It was over. Unbelievable. No, he's scooping. I mean, I'd scoop too. I'd be pissed. We had that lethal damage play. Sending 1, 2, 3 for Chimera Illusion Beast. attack a number of times equal to the number of materials, being 3. The monster attacks into can't be destroyed. After you attack once, dealing some damage, they're now reduced to 0. And then you have at least 6,200 damage on top of whatever damage you dealt, with them being at 4K. That, of course, was game. Top 4 time. Do we shift right now? Get shifted. Not yet. Until once we have a card in the graveyard, then we shift. As long as we don't have a card in the grave. Activate the Wedgie Temple, equip into the back row. Senjin, summon for the back row. Searching for the Millennium Shield. We didn't search for the Blue Eyes. The Blue Eyes would have put a card in the grave. And now we get shifted. Any card sent to the grave is banished instead. Silahat Rabbit, equip into the back row, setting our Angel statue to negate the Fenrir summon if we summon the Angel statue early, which we very much would want to do because Fenrir outs the Exodia. The unstoppable Exodia is here with the ability to set into the back row, the ability to wipe out the entire opposing field. So with the Angel statue, we can negate an inherent summon. We can destroy the entire field. We can negate a spell or trap card. We're also indestructible by card effects, and we become a whopping 2,000 attack in the damage step. Retaliating Sea is activatable if you activate a spell card, not effect, that includes the effect of special summon. And it's important to understand that nuance because the Fiendsmith Tract is a spell that results in a special summon if you use the other effect, but that is the effect to special summon, not the card activation, which results in a special summon. Thus, you can't chain Retaliating Sea to any part of the Fiendsmith Tract. Against this Tearlament deck, could you even use Retaliating Sea? Tearlament Grief, if you have that. I don't know if Justinian's playing that, so that would pretty much be the only thing. Fenrir is here as we did not summon the Angel statue early. It can't negate the summon? Oh, does this have to go to the graveyard? Is that the cost? If they would summon, you could send to the graveyard, which you cannot do as the cost. So you are right, Shifter does turn off our Azure Rune. We're going to, at the start of the battle phase, see this S? You can only see this S if you turn it on in the settings, and you could only use your Fire of Rage on the S, being the start of the battle phase, if you have your toggle on. That's 2 actions you need to ensure that you have done, one preemptively, one at the start of the battle phase, to ensure that the Fenrir does not declare an attack, banishing your Exodia, and then like a fool, you chaining your Fires of Rage, destroying a Fenrir already banishing your Exodia. Obliterate the Fenrir. Summon the Azure Rune, which we learned with under Shifter is not going to be working. During the end phase, set up the Fire of Rage to wipe again. Now, I mean, this is it. What does this mean? It means that we cannot end our turn with Exodia. If we end the turn with Exodia on the field, we lose because during our next standby phase, we lose 1,000 life at 1,000 life. So we have to win the duel or link off the Exodia. Let's go. Engraver searching for our tracts. We're no longer under the effect of a Shifter grabbing the Lurie. Lurie discarded. I'm gonna flame this on. I don't know about you, I'm flaming. Let's do it. Lurie into Requiem. Requiem jumping off into the Engraver. Engraver will send the Mulcharmy to the graveyard. We're looking at 5950 damage so far. The Exodia can, of course, become that 1,000 extra damage. We have to inflict 5,800 damage to win. The Lacrima could be the final 12 by burning in main phase 2. 58. That's it. We already win. Okay. More than that. Nightmare Unicorn, sure. Let's spin away the purely... we got to deal with this first, right? Of course. Get that fool out of here. And just like that, game 1 going. Wait, my button didn't... Where are the flames? Didn't work. Flame! There we go. Sharon's going to discard the tier cash to mill 3 to then additionally mill 2 more cards as the Hovness is going to be fusing into our Kick Cow play. With a Beatrice plus the Sulliak, that is a triple disruption. because by triggering a fusion, you will summon a Kaleido Heart, which will spin a card, and then using Celiac to send the Kaleido Heart to negate a monster, that will trigger the Kaleido Heart to reborn and then trigger another fusion to go into a Dragostapelia potentially. That would be a triple disrupt if we're even playing that. We have Rukalis to negate a special summon, and then we have Desiree to non-target negate a card in the field while it's also untargetable itself, and all under max C. Plus, I did not forget that Fairy Tale Snow Engrave will be able to flip a card in the field face down. Now, reading the Celiac, we can send the Fairy Tale Snow if we want to then flip another card face down, but then we're not triggering the Kaleido Heart double fusion play. Let's see what happens. Fiendsmith tracked. Add from the deck our Lurie. Discard. Reborn the Lurie. We're going to chain Maxi, not negate with the Rukalos. If you negate with Rukalos, she actually would not send herself to the graveyard. She would stay since she does not destroy the card she's negating in that instance. We're going to hit them with the Droll and Lockbird. Fairy Tale Snow is going to flip down the Lurie, preventing a Requiem summon. We're now down to 5 Disrupt. Track to activate and diffuse with our face down Lurie. We're going to use the Rukalos to negate. And as I said, Rukalos will stay on the field. She did not destroy the card she negated, thus she stays. Tribute summon for Engraver. And now it's time to spin that Engraver back. Send the Sharon Fuse into Kaleido Heart. With the Kaleido Heart, spin away the Engraver as we have 3 disruptions left. Sanjin equip itself from the back row. Desiree negate its ability to special summon. Negate. We have Celiac plus another fusion, and without having to do those 2 other plays, we're hopping into game number 3. Shields of the Millennium, revealing the Ankh as the Maxi is chained to the shield, drawing per special summon. Thus, I'm thinking we're going to go right for the Exodia without going to the Silahat Rabbit potentially, as I suspected, adding a Fool Loss into it to draw an additional card. Double Fool, we're going to draw 3. Oh my Jesus. Justinian's going to have almost a brand new hand. Come forth, Exodia. Give the opponent a draw 3 play. Unstoppable. 1, 2, 3. In the end phase, set up into the back row, the Fires of Rage. Let's discuss this field. Oh my Jesus, we have the ability to wipe away the entire opposing field. We have the ability to negate a monster. We can negate a spell and trap card on top of that, and we cannot be destroyed by card effects, and we are at 8,000 attack at the start of the damage step or within the damage step. Starting off with the Fenrir summon to battle. On the attack, banishing away the unstoppable Exodia. We're going to imperm, negate the Fenrir. No banish for you. And we now know we're not getting lethal this turn at least. Let's hop right into the main phase 2. Rhino Heart on summon, sent from the deck. The Hobness. Hobness is going to fuse right away into the Kaleido Heart. We are not skipping a beat. No kick cow here on summon, spin away the stoppable Exodia as we're going to chain the Fires of Rage, which may be a mistake actually, because now Kaleido reborns and triggers a fusion summon from the deck. Not sure about that. Or send whatever card we want. Setting up for a fusion summon, we're going to grab a Sharon for free. Tier cash, banish the Celiac or the Fenrir to mill an additional 3. And now we're going to Sharon, send the Snow to mill 3. Let's further link this up into Moon at the Closed Heaven. Moon into the Requiem. Requiem into the Engraver. Engraver equipped with the Requiem, send the Shield. Now we can Fool Loss, thank you for that, but we're going to call by the Grave Finger your Fool Loss, not today. We do have that activatable Ankh ready to stop, I should say summon, the stoppable or unstoppable Exodia on the very next turn. So how do we stop the Ankh? What is the way? We're going to be reborning the Fairy Tale Snow into our Fiendsmith sequence. Desiree negate. That's it, mate. If we have another way to search another Ankh, then it would be activatable as the Desiree negates the Ankh. Uh-oh. It all comes down to the top deck. Are you ready? Let's go. Beatrice. Send from the deck a Sharon. Rukalis is another negate. How do we deal with double negate on our double Ankh, mate? I don't think there's any way to do it. Wait, no, we can't go into Rukal because we didn't make Kick Cal first. Uh-oh. Kick Cal is going to reborn, so we still only have one negate on the Millennium Ankh. Mill 5. Rhino Trigger, reborn. Link it up into Apollo, which doesn't stop the Ankh, but it does negate the Exodia from boosting or setting a trap in the end phase. Apollo's not so bad against Exodia. Reborn Engraver, Fairy Tale Snow, back onto the field by banishing 7. Further linking into a Masquerina. Masquerina, Little Knight, banish Exodia. How is Exodia good if there's this many outs? We didn't even make the Desiree though. Uh-oh. So we have triple negate on the Exodia trying to boost up the attack or set a trap in the end phase. And of course we top decked into the Fires of Rage to wipe away the entire field anyway. But that would then trigger the Kaleido Heart to reborn to then send the Exodia back into the extra deck where it came from. We could also Masquerina into Little Knight to banish away the Exodia. So ideally, the best plays would be to deal with the cards that could deal with the Exodia, but I don't think we have enough juice to do so. If we start with the Fires of Rage, add a leg. Oh, the head. Of course, the head will not help us here. Droll and Lockbird. No more adding for you. We're going straight into the Exodia. What are we thinking? The Masquerina's there. It's going to get banished. Wait, it didn't. Fairy Tale Snow will flip you. Oh, that's even more outs. You have outs on outs on outs. We have so many outs to out your Exodia. Your Exodia is nothing. This is maybe why Exodia is not top tier. Huh. Send the Sharon, trigger Kaleido, spin back the back row, which would not even be activatable. When does the Exodia activate? During damage calculation, it only boosts up the attack, not the defense. If it boosts up the defense, that would have been self-inflicted lethal damage. Game over on full loss swinging into Exodia. Dugaris in main phase 2. Can you please just, yeah, do that. There you go. Very funny. Very cool. Requiem. Wait, it has to be fusion summoned to even trigger. Yeah, yep. Oh, we gotta refusion it. Gotta fusion it. Cannot be regular summoned outside of fusioned. Let's spin back into the extra deck. And now let's fuse it. No, we already fused. How we fuse it? We would need the tracked. No tracked. How do we allow this to go to another turn? The Lurie's going in. Exodia is not winning today's event. Hipster, thank you very much for bringing Exodia and doing well. Justinian, good job with your new version of Tearlament entering into the grand finale. We do have the other half of the top 4 until we go all in. Let's do it. Right, Fur, Patchwork, grabbing a Polymerization plus an Edge Imp Chain. Now, I believe without looking at Chris's D that it has no hand traps whatsoever. All board breakers plus Infernoids. We have Aerial Eater here, getting ready to send a Fiend monster from the deck to the grave. We're gonna get the Engraver in there, a way to essentially search the Engrave. What are our forms of disrupt? Can we even trigger, or I should say chain the Regina when an Azamina or Sinful activates to then destroy 2 cards in the field? I'm not so sure about that, not immensely familiar with this, but we do have the Sword Knight to negate a monster effect on field. We have an Apollo to negate 3 monster effects no matter where it is. We have the Chimera Fusion, which is gonna be able to pop multiple cards in the field. That's about 5 disruption I am counting. Let's see what's good. Change a heart, change the heart of the Apollo. Kodal says, you can't target one of my monsters. Negate. And I was not counting that as a form of disruption. It is protection, though. We're going to now triple tactics thrust as you have activated a monster effect to add a reasoning from our deck to our hand to mill off the top of our deck until we have a monster that can be normal summoned. You declaring level 1, meaning that if it's not level 1, I get to summon that monster, otherwise it is sent to the grave. And there it is, Decatron is sent to the grave since you've correctly called level 1. But now in the engage, we'll be searching for a Widow Anchor plus drawing an additional card. We're gonna Widow Anchor, take control of and negate the Apollo. So from our 5 disruption, we're now down to 2. Harmadick is going to be targeting a monster, and that monster will be destroyed, or we're gonna Sword Knight negate. I don't think so, mate. Now down to 1 disruption. Ready to being forced to use it right away. Phoenix on summon, discard to pop the back row, to come forth and summon. We can't pop the Phoenix because the Guardian Chimera needs 2 bodies in the hand, so we're just going for a Magnum Reliever instead, which is still a form of disruption. On the activation of either player activating anything, the Magnum Reliever will pop a card on the field. And that may be it. Yep, we're gonna do the Magnum Reliever play to target the Antra to get popping as the Antra was threatening to return the Reliever back into the extra deck, which it still does. Now we got nothing. 0. And this is how Infernoid plays. You grind through all their disruption, and then you keep on going. Making the Promethean Princess, reborning the Decatron, send from the deck to copy the effect as we now go further into the Flood. With the Flood, according to Master Meta, the top card win rate when summoned, it's an 82% chance to now win the duel. On us summoning to where it points to, I believe that was the effect. No, if a card's banished, you get to then banish a card in the field. Not enough for lethal damage, though, as this is going to quick effect tribute a monster to target a card in the opponent's graveyard to banish it. Not today, as the Chimera King attempts to reborn the Baphomet to then search for 2 cards. We're going to chain our Baphomet and grave the other Baphomet fusion to still reborn the Baphomet, a different one, the banished one that is, as we're now going to be chaining the Promethean Princess to pop it, but we still get to search for 2 cards. This is not looking too good for Infernoid as we did not win the duel. We're going to reborn the Devity, and what we're left with is a single form of disruption. Do we have a Fairy Tale Snow in the graveyard? And can this tribute off the Promethean? Let's read this. When a monster effect's activated, tribute the Promethean to negate the activation and banish that monster. And then we have Promethean on special summon to destroy your monster plus mine. Double disrupt. Droplet off the top of the deck on summon. What, we had nothing left to search as we then scoop it up. Speed this up. How much disrupt do we have? We have triple monster negate. We have negate a monster on the field. We have Sinful Spoil, Chain Regina, pop 2 cards on the field. The Sinful Spoil will be a disruption itself. The Guardian Fusion Chimera play will be another disruption. I think we could then go into, one's Guardian Chimera. We can't Guardian Chimera again. I guess we do a Magnum Reliever. I don't think all 3 fusions is 3 disruption. I think it's gonna be 2 disruption. And then we do have the Black Goat Laughs where we could declare a monster name, then that monster cannot be special summoned. But big problem is it does not say it can never be special summoned, only it cannot be special summoned except from the grave. And from the grave is Infernoid's specialty. That's exactly where they love to summon from. So this actually may not do so much in terms of disrupting. Lightning Storm, wiping away all the attack position monsters. What the? Okay, and we just lost a Chimera Fusion. This is going horribly wrong. Let's mill cards until we have a monster that we can summon, and it definitely gets summoned, unlike the reasoning where the opponent has the opportunity to correctly call the level, then it would not be summoned. What could it be? It could be a Fairy Tale Snow or a Decatron. Decatron would copy an Infernoid monster's effect from the deck by sending it to the graveyard, a good way to just Foolish Burial, or to copy a good effect like negate a spell or trap card, or negate a monster. Oh my, this is the fastest. I have it on ×2. We're milling at the speed of light. You can't do it faster. Konami, please. Setsumus, reasoning, we got 29 more seconds, I guess. Decatron is here. On summon activating as the Sword Knight will negate. Now we could follow up with the engage, search for whatever we want, plus draw an additional card. And then we could card destruction for 2 maybe, or card destruction for 3 as the Metal Foes Fusion draws an additional card. Let's reborn our Infernoids from Engrave. And now the Devity on summon says, destroy all back row cards on the field, plus can negate a monster effect and then banish it. Thus, we're forced to activate our back row cards right here, right now. Let's go. And again, we could not have used the Black Goat last to stop the summon. Chimera Fusion, chain the Black Goat, that is. Promethean Princess can now not be special summoned. Kind of smart, I think. That was a good idea. They definitely do want to summon Promethean Princess. Magnum Reliever, as suspected, would have been one of the monsters we would be summoning. Edgem Chain, we're going to chain the Reliever to pop a card in the field. The Devity can negate and banish that Magnum Reliever, mate. We're going to tribute ourselves to negate and banish. Banish, the Magnum Reliever. And it looks like we have completely dismantled your massive field of disruption. We're going to engage, add from our deck a Hornet. Drones, we're popping off. Let's go. It's the pop off. Let's flame it. Hornet drones, come forth, link it off into a Kagari. Kagari is going to be adding back from Engrave the engage again. We're going for a super thick card destruction. We don't really need to help give them a random card in their hand now, do we? We're gonna Celine Navidad with only 25 tokens. We're gonna come forth and grab a Widow Anchor from the deck, additionally drawing a Raigeki. We are going for the card destruction. 4 cards, draw 4 cards. They drew into a droplet. We're gonna summon a Harmadic, and now we're gonna use the Chimera of the Phantom Beast to reborn a Chaos Angel from Engrave. And guess what? It does activate. It does not have to be Synchro Summon. It will on-summon, banish a card on the field, say goodbye to the Celine. Celine needing the Fairy Tale Snow to be able to reborn. We're going to Harmadic tribute off to, if we only play 1 Decatron and 1 Fairy Tale Snow, this could potentially mill our entire deck until we get into that Fairy Tale Snow. Yeah, right? I would think so. 1 Deca, 1 Snow. Where the Snow? Where the Snow? Unless we play more than 1 Deca. Keep on milling. Slash Draw, Antondel, Petrulia. There it is. Jackpot. Fairy Tale Snow is now here. Banish in the grave to summon our Devity here as we now go into an Artemis. We want to continually link off the Infernoids. If we have level 8 or higher in the field, we cannot summon any more Infernoids from the grave. Reborn, further link into a Lina. Lina is going to be reborning a body from your grave. We're going to go into a Topologic Zero Boros at a whopping 7,600 attack, but that's not enough. Fairy Tale Snow, activate to banish. You should have done it 10 more times. I don't care if it's BM. 9,000 damage, so you should have just gone for it. We're going to Devity, negate, and we could still do it, mate. Come on, Fairy Tale Snow, continually banish even more. 9,200 damage is not enough. Yes, it is. You had like 30 cards left in the grave. We could have banished, I think, what, 5,000 more damage? Potentially? I don't think we could do it. Not 6K, like 5K. Extra 5K. It's time. Grand finale. Infernoid go second versus Tearlament begin. Special summon Fenrir. Fenrir searching. Chrisnoid is not playing any hand traps in his deck list from what I've seen. All board breaker and all juice. We are going to be summoning the Tier Cash, mill 3. What is the best possible turn 1 board against Infernoid? I would want at least a Rukalos to negate a spell. I would want a Desiree to negate a spell. We gotta negate spells. If you don't have spell negate, you are in trouble. We're gonna Beatrice, send from the deck, trigger the fusion, fuse away into our Kit Cal. Kit Cal on summon, searching for the Rhino, send herself, summon Rhino. We're gonna send a tier from the deck as we also mill 5. Triggering Sharon, and there we go. We have our Rukalos to negate Monster Gate. We have Little Knights to chain banish. So it's a bit undercooked here. This is not Justinian's fault, but all we really have that's big here is the Rukalos negate. We could, of course, use the Beatrice to spin a card on the field back into the deck. with the Kaleido Heart play. I'm not sure how beneficial that's actually going to be. We have Little Knight to chain banish a monster. We also have Droll to stop them from further adding from the deck. We could also Ash Blossom negate something like a Monster Gate or draw 2 with the Triple Tactics talent. We do not have a Fairy Tale Snow in the graveyard. So with 5 disruption versus a go second deck, are you ready? Begin. Banish away an Infernoid to summon the Entra. Now Entra, what is it threatening? It can target a face-up card your opponent controls and return it to the hand, only within an open game state. So before we get to that open game state in response to the summon, we're gonna Beatrice send from the deck a fusion trigger. Sharon's gonna fuse away, going into a Kit Cow. Kit Cow's gonna search or send a Tearlament. We're gonna send a Hovness. Hovness is gonna activate to fuse 3 bodies going into that Kaleido Heart. Kaleido Heart on summon, spin away the Entra. But we're gonna chain Droplet to send the Entra to negate the Rukau. Right? Negate. Now get Triple Tactics talent, rip out the Ash Blossom. Ooh, now Monster Gate gets negated by the Ash Blossom, where otherwise we would have returned it back and then had a full Monster Gate, right? That's a problem. Now we have the YOLO draw 2. I think, okay, wait, what happened? We definitely could have done that, right? We summoned, it was all in the main phase, yeah. Triple Tactics talent, go for the draw 2. We just have an Antra, that's no good. Droll in case we have any other play, which we don't. Not allowed to do that. Hey, Gianna? Yo, we gotta surrender in the grand finale, what is this? We are choosing, of course, to go second, forcing Tearlament to go first, which is what they prefer to do. Begin. Once again, speed up their turn 1 play. Golem for 2,000 life, summoning itself in the field for the Wedgie Temple. Equip into the back row monster plus Ascension. Summon the Ascension, search our deck, equip the Ascension from our hand into the back row. Bro, I've been saying you would do this all day, and I've been looking so dumb that you did not do it all day, and finally you did it. So I have been redeemed. Thank you. We have Engrave, the Fairy Tale Snow, which will summon whenever we want to flip an opposing monster face down. We have Apollo with the triple monster negate. We have the Masquerena with a Little Knight double banish. We have the Rukalos, which will negate the activation of something that wants to special summon. We have Desiree, which will negate any card up to 2 of them on the field and is untargetable itself. That is simply 8 disruption. But with our deck being filled to the brim with board breakers, we got 2 of them in our hand right here. This can take control of a monster, but they have to have first activated a monster effect within the main phase. This can negate as many monsters as we want on the field, and it's a non-target negate. Thus, we can negate that Desiree from negating us. Let's go. Slash draw. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna have to read this. I've been refusing to read this. Discard a card, send cards from the top of your deck equal to the number of cards your opponent controls, then draw 1 and show it. If it was slash draw, send it to the graveyard. If you do, destroy as many cards, ignore. If the card you drew was not slash draw, which it's always not gonna be slash draw because I think we're only playing 1 slash draw, shuffle the cards in the grave back in the deck equal to the number of cards sent from your deck to the grave by this effect. So is this essentially an upstart goblin? I don't really understand. I guess it helps you get a card in the graveyard from the hand plus draw a spell. He is playing 2. I mean, he never actually pops off with that, right? That never happens. Let's return. It mill and cycles. How's it mill if it returns the graveyard back after milling? Wait, how many cards are you milling though? Equal to the number of cards sent on your deck from the grave by this effect. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna Metal Foes Fusion, draw a card here, and now it's time for reasoning. Rukalos negate, chain the Hornet Drone's mate, and we're gonna use Forbidden Droplet to send 4 cards. Negate 4 bodies on the field. Quadra negate. All negated. So all the disruption I talked about, we just have a Fairy Tale Snow. Huge droplet. And with the reasoning, we declared level 1, which means we could summon a Fairy Tale Snow off the top of the deck. This is it. He does play another slash, or is that the one? I don't even know. I don't care about the slash draw thing anymore. I'll look into it later. Keep on milling. Continually milling. Where's that Fairy Tale Snow? So you have to understand, a 60-card deck, he's only playing 2 cards that could be normal summoned. So with the Monster Gate and the Reasonings, they are huge. It was a Decatron, which could be summoned through Normaling, thus it was sent to the grave because it's level 1. We're gonna make a Kagari to add back the Engage to search our deck for a Widow Anchor, plus draw an additional card, which could be big. Void Imagination, that's huge. The Blackout Laughs declares Fairy Tale Snow. Now the Fairy Tale Snow, this states neither player could activate effects with monsters of the same name. Only on the field it could not activate. It could summon from the grave, but who cares? It can't flip a card in the field face down. Thus, we're truly at 0 disruption. And Tondel is going to attempt to banish the snow, forcing the snow to banish to summon itself onto the field, even though it still can't activate and there's nothing to activate onto. The Kagari is large and in charge at 3,400. Did you just trick him to turn on your tactics talent? No, we used Rukalis already, right? Okay. I was gonna say that's a pretty funny trick. Tier Cash on summon is going to mill 3. Now, there's a chance this may turn into something, right? As we're gonna mill 3. Yep, let's go. Mill 3, we're gonna Widow Anchor, negate. I don't think so, mate. Negate. The reason why I paused to think for a second is if we were taking control of a monster, if we took control of the Tier Cash, we mill 3, and we wouldn't have to Widow Anchor, but we were looking at the hand. That would have been a cool play. Yep. And let's now banish in the graveyard for the Tondel. After destroying a monster, can attack again. After 1, go again for lethal damage. What the? Reasoning is activated as the Ash negates. But the other reasoning is still activatable. It's not a hard once return. I think this card is literally 25 years old. Pot of D. If you banish your Snow and your Decatron, you now have 0 monsters that can be normal summoned. You then cannot legally activate your reasoning. But if you plan on using Pot of D, this is probably the best chance to use it anyway, right? Now, let's see if that actually happened. We did not banish Snow nor the Decatron, which I believe are the only 2 cards that could be normal summoned from our deck. Ooh, draw and Lockbird, but that's okay. Reasoning does not add. Let's get millin'. 42 cards left in our deck until we have a monster that can be summoned. Level 1 has been declared. Decatron will be sent to the grave, where otherwise the Fairy Tale Snow will be summoned. Mill. Blackout Laughs, we got Disruption in the graveyard. Yes. Oh, much he's 30 cards left. 29. A Nunku. There's the Snow. Summon from the deck on top of the field, banishing from the grave to summon an Infernoid from the hand. Hida is here to now steal your Ash Blossom from your grave, as we can now go into a Promethean Princess. Promethean Princess goes into the Flood, as we're now going to be making the Infernoid Flood. With the Infernoid Flood, we'll talk about its form of disruption right now. So with this field, the Infernoid Flood states that when your opponent would special summon, you could tribute a monster, negate the summon, and then banish that monster. That is a disruption. If a card is banished from your graveyard, you could banish a card in the field non-targeting. What's Fairy Tale Snow doing? Banishing from your grave, triggering the effect to non-target banish. And then, with the 2 disruption from the Infernoid Flood, we have the Fairy Tale Snow to flip a card in the field face down. We then have Widow Anchor, which cannot be activated unless we use Flood or the Anunku to use their effects to tribute it off the field. We have to have no main monsters to even negate, but maybe we will have that. So let's say that we do. And then the Anunku states that when a spell/trap card or effect is activated, you contribute a monster to negate the activation. So that is 5 disruption, but there's actually potentially more, because if you tribute Fairy Tale Snow, she could summon again, flip another monster face down, so it's maybe 5 to 6 disruption. Yup, and then we have the Promethean Princess. So it's 6 to 7 disrupt. Wait, I thought you were a Ghost second deck. This doesn't make sense. What? Promethean Princess pop on special summon. 6 to 7. 7 being if we double Fairy Tale Snow. Let's go. Engraver is going to search for Fiendsmith Tract. Tract is going to get negated by the Anunku. And we have 5 to 6 disruption. Call by the Grave is going to finger the Anunku. Negates. No Fairy Tale Snow dodge. Dodge? No. We could have Snow dodged, but then we can't use Widow Anchor. That was a possibility. Yeah? Okay. So we have up to 2 Fairy Tale Snow banishes, flips face down still. We're waiting. We're gonna go into a Lacrima. We're gonna play it safe. I think we put higher importance on the timing of the Flood banishing off of the Fairy Tale Snow, or we want a Widow Anchor first. Widow Anchor, get yoinkin', negate, you don't summon, mate. We're now up to potentially 5 disruption, 4 to 5. Summon the Engraver. I think we're going to get Fairy Tale Snow in soon as we go into the Requiem. On Requiem summon, we're gonna Flood. Tribute off your Lacrima to negate. So we go from 5 disruption to 3. We had 3 disruption left. So how did we have 3? We had Snow, Banish, Flip, Trigger Flood, Banish, Promethean Princess, Pop. With 3 more disruption left, we end our turn. Is this the end for Justinian? We're gonna banish 7 cards on the grave to come forth and summon our Fairy Tale Snow into a Max C. Do we take the Max C challenge? Summon the Snow at 4850. We're going all the way. Lina is now here. Are you sure, Chrisnoid? It's game 3. He could draw into anything. Stealing the Engraver from the grave, drawing another card. We now have Sharon, not a Havnis, which would have been chainable to a monster effect, as we have a 0 Boros. Boros is here at 8200 attack, lethal damage. Wow. That was incredible. Infernoid winning the whole damn thing. Justinian thought that you would not have a good turn 1 being a go second deck, but then you somehow had 6 to 7 disruption after going first. The Fairy Tale Snow really cheats the amount of disruptions you have, but the Snow really was that good. Absolutely incredible. Good job, Chrisnoid. Huge shout out to you for playing this deck. I love it. And thank you, Justinian, for bringing your new spicy tier limit deck to the tournament. You almost won it all. Decade Meta Weekly. What is going on here? Galaxy Tachyon did actually very well in today's event. I could not believe that. In addition to Chimera. Holy moly. I think we're going to be starting off with Unchained. This is really diverse. Is this meta where you just pretty much take whatever you want and play? I guess so. A severe lack of blue eyes after it did well on the first week. I think a lot of people figured out how to play against it, knowing to Ash the Wishes, Imperm, Valor, the Spirit. But that's okay. Blue eyes will get Primite cards later and then be super duper top tier. Probably the best deck in the game. Exodia with Unchained using Millennium. I really like this idea. This is target a card you control to destroy and summon. So Millennium cards in the back row after the Wedju Temple. Good fuel for your poppage. So good job to Exodia. Then we have Dragon Link. Dragon Link Blue Eyes. Net Virus with the Blue Eyes. Dragon Link. Here is the fuller deck. Nicely done. Here is the extra deck. 2 Spirit, 1 Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, 1 Ultimate. Okay, sure. And then we have Mech Knights. Blue. Good job to you. Azamina, Fiendsmith, Mech Knights. Okay. It's pretty cool. Labyrinth. Wub with the dub. We're playing with the simultaneous equation cannons. Full field banish. 6 Solemns. Wow. Okay. And then we have Voiceless Voice, Army of Me. This is Azamina with Voiceless. I don't know how you had the room for it, but I see that's 45 cards, and that's how we snuck it in. Triple Herald of Orangeland. I still have it in my mind that this card is limited to 1, but it's newly unlimited. Not too new anymore, I believe. Here's the extra deck. Gigantic Sprite. I couldn't believe that you did that. Gigantic Sprite, summon Diviner from the deck. That was nuts. And then we have White Forest Azamina, packed with a nice clean deck here. Very good. Beatrice will likely be getting banned. And only one Diablo Star. When I'm predicting Diablo Star will get limited to one, so they're not going to even really be affected by that. I think there's a chance that Wanted Seeker could get banned. Possibly. Let's see. Snake Eye Fainsmith, Snitrox, Millennium took out Azamina instead for the Millennium engine. Okay. And we got the Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord. Yup, looking good. Let's keep on going. And then we have Melodious. Swaggy Key with the pure Melodious. Well done to you. We got one Herald of Orange Light. And then we have Bestial. Daradurn with the Bestial. I think we gotta, we're figuring out. It continually gets split up on either a Fiendsmith or the Bestial name. Yep. But we'll figure that out later. Good job, Daradurn. And then we have Exodia. Hipster with the Exodia. We do have the There Could Only Be One, Anti-Spell Fragrance, one Necrovalley. Just 3 Floodgates is not too big of a deal. Nothing to get too crazy about. There's the extra deck. The Mad Lad was able to, not within the tournament, but said that with very little, he could set up a Nightmare Griffin, send the Anti-Spell Fragrance, set it up, and then spin back the Griffin. And then you have an Anti-Spell Fragrance or a There Could Be Only One plus your Exodia on the field. That's nasty. And for that has made me want to play this deck. That sounds super toxic. And then we have Tearlaments, Justinian with the new spice. We have the extra deck here and then the main deck. Okay. Anything too crazy? We got the Millennium cards added in now. Millennium stocks are really going up. Infernoid, the winning deck. I'm going to have to go to Chris's profile for this one. Let's see. Is it a good view of the deck? Oh my goodness. Triple slash draw. We're not playing any left arm offerings. Are there any thoughts on that? Why no left arm offering, right? YOLO grab from the deck? Can I not see, or do I not see grass looking greener? Real. No grass in this deck. That is interesting. Okay. Wow. Okay. If you're playing left arm offering, maybe you would then be playing grass. Got the heavy emphasis on the Sky Strikers. This is something. This is a deck I'll definitely be checking out. In fact, let me just copy it right now. Let's do that. I think I'm logged out of the... No, I'm in. All right, cool. We got the deck. Done. In-game. That's good. I'll be playing that later. And then we have Galaxy Tachyon. Happy to see this. Turtle M. I am not familiar with the Tachyon trap here. What is this? Target a dragon Galaxy control. It cannot be destroyed, and it's unaffected by other card effects except its own. So really protecting your Galaxy Tachyon to ensure you could use the transmigrations. Okay. And then you could activate this from your hand? What? I did not know that. That's pretty interesting. Now I kind of like that. That's a very cool idea. Good job, Turtle M. And yep. Let's see the other one. We have Ingram. Similar. Okay, we got the Transmigration at 2. Tachyon Spiral of Destruction. I've been playing a bit of Tachyon myself for fun. Dogs are going nuts because they're going outside. And then we have Chimera. P-Gym. 45 cards. Looking good with the main. We'll look at the side, the extra deck that is. Got Aerial Eater now in the deck. Newly released. And then Melito. Is Melito on Aerial Eater too? No. Melito with a much more simple version of the deck. Good job, Melito. Looking nice. One's on Azamina and the other, well, I mean, you're actually not on Azamina. You just got the Rasala Go without the Sinful cards. Okay. Sure. And there you go. The Meta Weekly, super diverse. A lot of random people playing random stuff. Just play whatever, I guess. Cool. Let's go.